for your political issues, social justice advocacy, education, empowerment, enlightenment, roots and culture discovery, linking up to lifting up, humanity and community service projects, local and diaspora economic projections. We bring you these and many more on the Culture Queen TV show.
Welcome to Culture Queen TV. I am your Culture Queen, Mama D. And this is a new segment. And the purpose of this segment is to give you a weekly update on the current events, good, bad, and the ugly, in both Ghana and the United States. Be prepared to be empowered and at times entertained. The more you know, the more you grow.
The Culture Queen TV show, showing every Saturday on Culture Queen TV.
Today's segment is a special segment. It is going to cover the origin and the beginnings of a new movement. And with me today, I have my co-host, Foster Dumas, who is going to give you a little surprise.
I'm honored to be introduced by a very important personality in our world. And she is a multiple award-winning writer, a social justice advocate, a humanitarian, a great mom who doesn't joke with her kids and all kids who need a mother like her. Welcome once again to Culture Queen TV. And here I have so much questions to ask you about your foundation with a link up empowerment movement that you have set as a big project. What is it about, and how come the name? How did you get the name Link Up to Lift Up Empowerment Movement?
So I'll read here from our official documents. Link Up to Lift Up envisions peaceful nations where justice is guaranteed to all. Equal opportunities are afforded to every upstanding individual and organization, whereby its talented and gifted citizens exist in complete freedom to live, love, and pursue happiness. So if you believe that you belong to this movement, we ask you to link up to lift up. The mission of Link Up to Lift Up is that we are committed to the transformation of Africans and African diasporians. And the term diasporian simply means the descendants of all the enslaved Africans, wherever you are scattered on the four corners of the globe. So we really have a deep concentration on our future generations by making data-driven decisions that will transparently, systemically, democratically, and ethically promote our organizational values and our diverse people. So I would also like to share our value statement. Our value statement is that we are dedicated to matters of ethics and personal worth.
The Culture Queen TV show, showing every Saturday on Culture Queen TV.
We are dedicated to matters of ethics and personal worth. We believe in the creative, spontaneous, and active nature of human beings. So we are focused on the human capacity to overcome hardships and despair as we empower our individuals and organizational members as they achieve their short and long-term goals.
So with that being said, people actually do organize such movements, and it sinks into the waters. How are we going to see Link Up to Lift Up in the next 5 years?
Link Up to Lift Up will always be around. I believe it is a light. It is here to stay for
lifetime,
hundreds and hundreds of years. Our children's children will appreciate the foundations of Link Up to Lift Up.
Wow.
Link Up to Lift Up is not about big numbers per se, but it's about each individual. So as long as we're empowering one person, it is alive. So if each of us reach one person, it stays alive. And in 5 years, it will not be a few dozen or hundreds, but more so thousands or millions on not one continent as it used to be before this year, now 2 continents. So Link Up to Lift Up has footsteps in both America and now in Africa.
The Culture Queen TV show, showing every Saturday on Culture Queen TV.
So, Mama D, that was your book. How do you feel about writing?
Well, it all happened so fast. In fact, I wrote the book in less than 30 days. It was 2020 when COVID came and changed our world forevermore. I was actually scheduled to come to Ghana. I was a teacher at the time, and I was coming to Ghana for my summer break. So when COVID shut the borders down, I thought, well, what am I supposed to do? And at the same time, George Floyd, the atrocity, the emotions, the anger, all of that was happening, all just lined up. And I thought, let me speak to my great-great-grandchildren.
Wow.
So for 30 days, I locked myself in my office and I just wrote to them.
So you wrote this in 30 days.
Mhm.
Link Up to Lift Up book in 30 days.
Yes.
This is miracle. Like it's so much work because you need a long time to actually put in that content. Congratulations, because you won 3 awards so far, right?
Yes.
And which one is the most prestigious?
Well, as a scholar, as a long life learner, I kind of am most impressed by the quality writing, the International Impact Award.
Wow. So there are so many writers in the world, but you won the best international impact in the category for quality writing. What makes your book quality? What makes your content quality, actually?
Well, having to write APA and having to write papers, literally dozens of papers to get the master's and all of my doctoral coursework, I just began to just write, express. I I'm gifted in that way to write how I feel. And a former professor of mine once told me in a statistics, it was statistics 2, he basically gave me comments. He said, well, it's too descriptive for a scientist, but save this for your bestseller. And I thought, wow, okay.
Wow.
So I kind of been hearing feedback from others for at least about maybe 2 decades, but I just never knew that it would happen so suddenly. And I had no plan for that. I had no outline. I had no, New Year's resolution. It just spontaneously dropped in me to write in.
Is the book online?
Yes.
It's online. How can we find it?
It is online, and the publisher is Ex Libris, and you can just Google my name, Ex Libris, the publisher, and you'll be able to get your own copy.
Get your own copy. So one of your awards describes you as a literary titan. What does that mean to you, and how do you feel?
Titan is a big, that's kind of like a monster. So, I always used to kid around when writing my work, my scholarly research. I would go, these institutions have trained a monster, an intellectual monster.
Yeah.
So, truly, that award, it's like, wow. It's just shocking how things just circle, and when it's meant to be, you get confirmation at the right time.
Yeah, y'all need to get this book, Link Up to Lift Up, because it's a great book. They said it's a must-read book. According to most of these award criteria, the US, I think in the US they awarded you 3 times. And I want to ask you this question: culture, education, politics, humanity, or humanitarian reasons. Would you actually take one of these words to describe your book? Culture, education, politics, humanitarianism. Mm-hmm. Which one would you choose as a word that could describe your book?
In fact, pretty much all of them. I take out politics, but I write in the book, there is a section that deals with being a humanitarian, a humble humanitarian. The entire book captures our culture and the things that we should aspire to for our future generations. But more so, this book is more of an ideology. It is an idea of a new way of life for universal people who believe in our authority to be co-workers in the kingdom of culture. So we believe in total freedom and independence, but we also believe that we should have integrity as we go about these things.
But you are taking out politics away from this. But you won an award as a royal dragonfly, and you already won the political category. So
yeah.
If you're taking politics away, your book has classified you as. Are you a politician, a political activist? Because you won the category.
I know, right? So I don't understand, because I didn't write with a political agenda. I wrote my truth. I wrote what I have found to be barriers with systemic racism. I wrote what I found to be issues that impact African Americans, or as I term, citizen Africans. And I simply say that because the majority of our ethnic DNA is from an African nation, wherein we are citizens of the land North America. So I kind of want to pull race out because race is a social construct and it was created to control. So as long as we are using terms that was created for control, we are being controlled.
So you stand against racism, and that is why in the Pacific Book Review, and they were like they're giving you this award because you are actually someone who is just like Martin Luther King Jr. and the same, you stand for the same thing, and that is great. So with the Pacific Book Review, and they were like your techniques were described as emic perspective. What does that mean to you?
Emic perspective, they're basically two perspectives, emic or etic. And emic perspective is basically looking at a situation, a social situation, from an insider's viewpoint. So when I speak about African Americans experience, it is from an African American viewpoint. I am on the inside looking at our social issues, our conflicts, our barriers, as opposed to an edit perspective, which is, you know, a non-African American with expertise, degrees, titles, but they are observing our group. They are creating an interpretation for our group. I don't always accept edit perspectives. Again, due to systemic racism that has been institutionalized in America and other European nations. Now, that book review that you're speaking of, the reviewer did use a quote from Dr. King, and I was very humbled by that, simply because I do consider myself the next generation of his work. His work and others during that time dealt with civil rights. Well, now we are really focused on an abolishment of institutional racism. It's the next level to civil rights. Civil rights, we're still fighting for them today. Voting rights are being taken away that was fought for 50 plus years ago. So now civil rights is a predecessor to, we are the next phase from the civil rights. We're stepping on the shoulders of the civil rights activists as institutional racist abolitionists.
Yes.
We're to abolish institutional racism.
Wow. You have been a great impact to humanity, and already you are making impact, and you're still making impact. So Link Up to Lift Up was formed or organized in 2012, and it's about 10 years. And is there any anniversary?
Yes. In fact, that is why you are my co-host today. We have been so blessed to have a song, an anthem, I call it, an anthem to link up, to lift up. Now, Foster, I'm going to have him put on his other hat. He is also known as Kobe G, and he's been a musician here in Ghana for 17 years. And we met, and we probably had a 30-minute conversation, and immediately he began to live by the code. It was as if he was already a part of the code. So we really hope that the listeners feel the energy in their hearts and soul of the message of Link Up to Lift Up. So now you're the chosen one. How I watched you in the studio, and it was if I could see the old shell of Kobe G like peel off, and something came from your the belly of your soul, and a new sound came. So like, was it just me or did I have some fire?
You know, I was waiting to actually spit fire already. I've been in a cage for 17 years, try to find my way through entertainment just to, one thing I do is, one special power that I have is I write song instantly. It sings to me. So while you were talking to me, I felt like, no, I'm connected to this like 50,000 years already. And so it was just singing to me, and I had to drop it from the spiritual world to the physical world. And music is metaphysical, so automatically we drop something, and it's about each one, reach one, and teach one. So the song is a huge song, and it was just because I was ready. I was chosen for this.
Yes.
Spiritually and physically, it's happening.
So, will you answer this call to action and link up to lift up? Listen.
Link up to lift up, link up to lift up. So like a power you about to give up. Link up to lift up, together we can rise up now. So link up now, yeah. Link up to lift up, link up to lift up. So we can empower you when you about to give up. Link up to lift up, together we can rise up now. So link up now, yeah. Each one, teach one, seek one, love one another, 'cause united we can be one. Brother, freaking children of death and never give up on spreading the love. Yeah. Live one, cause hard times will come. Stay strong, don't stop, cause better days will come. So move on, we all come to link up to lift up movement. This is better when we come together. So link up to lift up, link up to lift up. So we can empower you when you about to give up.
Link Up to Lift Up is our anthem song. We, not me. This is for us, by us. Stay tuned for next week's episode of Culture Queen TV.
The Culture Queen TV show, showing every Saturday on Culture Queen TV, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram and Facebook. The Culture Queen TV show. We empower the world.